That's camera controls. Yay!
Come on. It just started. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived for the third week of the ARC GT3 Challenge Brain. And the third week of action comes to us from the Zhuhai circuit in China. I almost said Japan. No, just because the first three corners look like Fuji. It's not Fuji. I wish it was, but for once, I'm not alone in the booth today.
That's right, race fans. For those who do not know me, my name is Logan, and normally I drive the number 78 Lamborghini Huracan in GT3. But due to some incidences last week, I am currently doing some community service for the league.
He's on vacation.
Essentially.
As I attempt to... Oh, that was easy. I was like, let me attempt to find who's the first car to begin their qualifying lap, and then I make the perfect guess. So, Zhuhai Circuit is a track that I'm passingly familiar with. I've raced here like twice, and both times I did terribly, but... I'm in the glorious position of not having to race, so it doesn't matter.
I'll drink to that.
And you'll probably drink a bunch more. I don't dare take drinks on stream, because when I drink things, I have very loud burps. I got outed for this last season, so I'm like, okay, no more drinking. My throat will suffer.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dylan's the first car out on track right now, running a lap.
As our debuting, the one debuting driver for this race, supposed to be Lucas Delgado, but he is having some connectivity problems and he keeps disconnecting from the game. I have the sneaking suspicion he won't actually be joining us for today's event, as he probably won't be able to stay connected for long enough.
Meanwhile, Dylan's absolutely sending it into the final corner to complete this lap.
We'll see what the first...
to that V12 screaming.
That's a V10.
I thought it was a 12 in the Huracan.
No. And the first representative lap of the day is a 31.88 from Mr. Dillon. And I have absolutely no idea who's coming up behind him next on the lap, as I just kind of haphazardly scroll through the driver list to figure it out, but I give up. There's Matthew Stotts, followed by Jen Torres. Stotts with a pretty rubbish lap. Torres with a 32.97 in the Bentley. AJ Knickel with a 33 flat. Not representative from him, I don't think. Fidel with a 34.2, also not representative. Nearly gets into the back of the Porsche up ahead. I believe that is Setchel, who I usually just go by their last name. Travis Fenistendor puts an actual lap in, a 34.1. And then
absolutely nearly overshoots turn one.
Yeah, he made that corner by inches.
That's a racing line I would take.
That was a weird optical illusion. I thought that those two were like running into each other. Fidel Fabian is all over the back of Setchel in qualifying. I feel like at a certain point you just let the other go, but these two trying to get some pack racing practice in early is somebody else has joined the race. And no, who just got here? Oh, Delgado is finally connected for a long amount of time as Setchel and Fabian are continuing to jostle for location on the track.
It seems that Porsche is better through the corners, but that Mercedes, as soon as it gets on the straights, just absolutely pulls.
Yeah, that's the story of the Mercedes, and that's going to serve it quite well here at Zhuhai, as we have 4, basically, decently long straights. Kind of 5. And Delgado disconnects. Oh! Save from the Porsche. Yeah, you'll be seeing the Porsche do a lot of that. AJ Knickel massively improves to a 31.75, which is about more in the range of what I expected. Dylan Baum is, I think this is an outlap. Matthew Stotts Stotts and Fabian are currently tied at a 33.960. How does that happen?
Consistency. Also, there appears to be a yellow flag in Sector 1.
I think that's the game confused because somebody is driving out of the pit lane at the moment.
Yeah.
He's on board with Billy Targi, who is up by about 3/10, heading into the last of the track's hairpin turns. He still has basically the final corner of the Shanghai circuit, but in a mirror to negotiate before he can call it a lap, though. And he's taking it well, so that'll probably actually gain him even more time, even if he does get a little bit awkward on exit. The Acura improves to a 33.6.
Absolutely stunning lap by the...
Yeah, Acura. This Bentley's seen some better days.
I don't think the yellow flag was for a car leaving the pit lane.
Yeah, maybe not. Beginning to kind of question the legitimacy of that estimation.
We have a Bentley short tail now.
You have a Bentley countryside. It's no longer a continent, it's a country. Dylan Baum is on his way around the lap as he's going to try and put up some sort of resistance to AJ Knickel, our malevolent overlord of the GT3 championship, who's swept the series thus far. Looking at that split time, though, I don't think Dylan's going to be doing that on this occasion, though. Nope, you're not doing anything either.
Short tail.
And the game's race feed is very intent on making sure we are aware that Setchel has invalidated his lap time. My word. I think that's, yeah, Fidel Fabian is beginning the lap. And he is ending the lap. That is the grass. And there's not really many people that are up right now. Matthew Daly is the driver I expected to be higher on the qualifying grid, so put the camera on him.
With a drink, tonight's drinking games, every time Lucas disconnects, take a drink.
Are you trying to kill people, Logan?
I didn't say alcohol.
You might just drown. As I was speaking of, Matthew Daly was up 6/10 going into that hairpin. I don't really know how good that exit was, so it remains to be seen if he can make that kind of improvement. But gaining 6/10 would put him on the second row, I think. No, it would put him on the third row, just behind Targi. And he heads up to the line. He will improve by only just about 3/10. He doesn't jump anybody with that. So we're basically on to the final round of laps here. And Billy Targi apparently isn't on one, neither is his teammate who got out of Matthew Daly's way. The place to look right now is probably AJ Knickel, since he is currently the pole sitter. It's based on the swerving he's
doing. I also like to point out that two cars have not taken a lap yet in qualifying.
Yeah, that would be Adam Pelk and Carter Ritchie, who have not run a lap yet. And based on where Ritchie is on the racetrack, he's not going to get around in time to make one either. Adam Pelk is missing a corner, and he is half spinning, so I don't think he's going to get much of a lap in either. As the timer is now expired here in this qualifying session, Matthew Stotts is the first to cross the line. I don't think he was on a lap yet, so that is the end of his session. He will not even get another chance. Matthew Daly is heading into the last turn, so he will be the first actual lap to be submitted past the session timer ending. And it's not good. He does not improve at all. The short tail Bentley is down considerably on this lap, so I don't think he'll be contesting pole here. The current pole sitter himself is also on track, probably wanting to, obtain insurance that he probably does not need, as most of his primary rivals are already done and dusted. And even AJ doesn't improve, so it seems the track conditions really were at their best early in the session. Fidel Fabian did improve to a 33.3, which jumped him to the second row over the Acura driver. Who are we waiting? Oh, it is Setchel. No, they're done too. So the session should just be done. Oh no, Luke Allen is at full speed, isn't he? So
yeah,
I think it's
the last car start.
And he's flirting with the track limits. A bit of grass on the tires for good luck. Don't know if he actually improved, but something tells me based on that exit to the last turn, he probably didn't. No.
Ooh, shiny red button.
Do not press the button. Tend to wait until the the pre-race screen to run down the full grid order. And as we get ready for the sprint race, since there's a layout of format I was never a fan of, but that's not my problem because I'm not racing, as Lucas Delgado, in fact, could not remain connected long enough to begin the race.
And this is how I got my only career ARC pole.
AJ Knickel, speaking of, is on the actual pole for the sprint race, trying to make it 5 for 5 on the season. Dylan Baum is starting on the front row alongside him in the Lamborghini. The not-so-short-tailed Bentley starts third behind them, Fidel Fabian fourth. Fifth is Billy Targi in breakout qualifying for him, as he's kind of slightly languished in the back as of late. Matthew Stott starts P6, right in front of his teammate, Travis Van Oostendorp. Matthew Daly, quite a far cry off of his teammate, starts in 8th. Luke Allen, P9. Jamie Wright, P10. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer starts P11. Setchel starts P12. And then Carter Ritchie and Adam Pelks make up the last row, having put in no lap time. Now we just wait for... Oh, well, we're done waiting. The red lights turn green, and we are away from Zhuhai. And Dylan Baum gets an absolute rocket start. Or rather, AJ maybe not the best start, but Fidel Fabian actually shoots to the outside of Dylan. They make a bit of contact at the apex, so Dylan takes the lead. Matthew Stotts is in second. He had the race start of a lifetime right there, as he started on the third row.
And AJ goes from pole to 7th in one
and
corner.
He's been overtaken by his teammate. He's trying to take 6th back from his teammate, and he succeeds. Also looking for a spot on Jan Torres in the Continental. He will also get that. Also gets a bit of grass on his tires as he reaches the back of the RS01. Torres and AJ make slight contact. There's a spin in the back.
We got a car around in the back. Big wreck in the back. 2-3 around.
It is Matthew Daly is the main loser there, as they spun and then got quarter paneled by 2 other cars. AJ Knickel grabs P4 away from Travis Van Oostendorp. A bit of gas.
Yes, AJ is a little bit heavy on the gas there.
He's now trying to secure P3, make up for his awful race start, and get ahead of fellow AMG driver Fidel Fabian. Take another shot. Lucas Delgado has disconnected for what should be the last time today.
Grab a second can of Mountain Dew.
As already the race is sort of split up into two packs. You have the top 7 and the bottom 7. Pretty simple.
I didn't see much of the little spin on the first lap, but it appeared that that Matthew just got a little bit too eager on the throttle and looped it, and when he tried to rejoin, there was a Ferrari. But I may be wrong.
Nichols sends to the inside of Fidel Fabian, but he may overcook the hairpin. Fidel Fabian will attempt a crossover maneuver, but AJ is still going to get the better traction on exit, and you'll have the inside lane, so Fidel, I think, is retreating. Well, he breaks early enough to where it doesn't matter if he is or not.
AJ got a little loose mid-corner there, and that's going to pull Fabian right back to him.
Yeah, but they're both all squared coming out of that left-hander, so... Although Fidel is maybe sizing up a move, but he doesn't have the beans to send in that late. Probably a little bit cautious since he was hit with multiple penalties last week, so...
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Okay, Lucas Delgado is back. I don't think he understands that the period to join the race is over, as AJ Knickel is massively off in the final turn, and Fidel Fabian is going to take advantage, or at least try.
They're going to be side by side here in the turn 1, as Fabian's going to try to send it around the outside. AJ's going to fight back here on the bottom, and they're going to do
he's going all the way off.
Turn number 1.
Fidel has hit him with the fake. He's hit him with the dummy outside send, and AJ has juked himself out. They're also battling behind them.
Oh, we got Bentley around.
Jen Torres has been chop blocked, and yeah. Well, I mean, simply it's as simple as it gets. Torres was there. Fendersendorf did not care, and that is an incident that's put the Bentley down multiple positions. Interesting aspect of Zhuhai that I think will come into play throughout this weekend is, I say weekend, it's Monday. Throughout this event, though, is this is a weird track where it seems like you'd want to run low downforce, but as Knickel was saying to me before the race, a medium or high downforce can also work as it provides additional stability through the first and last turns. So you may see a bit of
high-speed kinks. Also, downforce is required.
Yeah, although not nearly as much as the two corners. Let's take another shot. As it seems Billy Targi has been penalized. Obviously, we're gonna have no way of knowing for what, but his position marker is red, which is what that signifies.
It was a lap 1 incident. I'm guessing track limits.
As Torres is going to effortlessly outdrag Luke Allen into 1. Does Allen force the issue? He kinda does, but not really that much. As Torres begins his recovery to get back up to where he once stood.
We may have a battle for 10th going on, just by looking at the intervals.
It was a battle, I think, going into 2 or 3, but Carter Ritchie had a pretty good exit there and got away from the 488. Although he's not going to have a good exit there, but I think the main place to look right now might be this battle. Well, there's a battle for 8th. Luke Allen is still within range of Torres, and they're both catching up to Matthew Daly, slowly but surely.
And P8, that's going to put you on technically a pole for the feature race.
Yeah, it's not credited as such in like the record books, but it is a pole position, which...
And that's only because of what I did last year.
Yeah, it could be very, it can be a massive assistance to somebody with a top speed-oriented setup, which it looks like the likes of Fidel Fabian has employed. I don't really know if anybody near... Oh my god, he has been smacked by AJ Knickel! And
AJ came out of nowhere in full-blown kamikaze Fabian, and that car appears to possibly have some suspension damage in the rear.
Oh yeah, I can tell he's kind of swaying on the straightaway here. He's got a wheel so he can minimize it, but that is no good, as Sechel has disconnected, and that was a person that was actually in the event, so that is unlucky for them. Almost said misfortunate.
Sechel was battling for 13th, so second to last at the point of disconnect.
And now
there's a Bentley.
Torres finds his way through the, tries to clear the stricken AMG, but he cannot, because the AMG, for all of its damage, will still have some decent top speed, and he's actually going to take the fight to AJ's teammate here, heading through the middle sector of the racetrack, and Fidel, with suspension damage, is still going to collect another position over Matthew Daly. What a guy!
That's gotta be embarrassing. You get passed by a car with damage.
Damage caused by your teammate, nonetheless.
But, man, I think that Bentley would honestly be better if it didn't have the aerodynamics of a brick.
The suspension damage must not be too bad, as Fidel Fabian elects to not repair. Luke Allen is currently...
Also the fact that if he's in the top 8, which I believe score points in the sprint, he's going to keep fighting for every point he can.
He's weighed the rewards versus the risk, and I guess he sees that he's got a wheel, so he can kind of straighten out the car, might as well survive and take some points home and, not start last in the future.
So we got an absolute melee back here for P, what is that? 6th or 9th over here with two Mercedes, a Bentley, and a Ferrari.
And these are the only cars on track within range of each other. They're all catching Billy Targi meanwhile, so it may soon be a 5-car battle for eventually 5th place.
Two to go.
Fidel Fabian's not letting this damage slow him down too much, because he is absolutely catching up to that Honda. Acura, whatever. The Acura is, I think I called it once, yeah. It's pretty equidistant heading towards T1, so there's not much to report on yet.
I love it how, all the main stories from the sprint race, of all incidents, all those cars were running right with each other. You had Fabian, who got absolutely yeeted into the shadow realm in turn 1 by AJ. Then you got Matthew, who ended up spinning on lap 1, followed by the Bentley, who got kissed by a Renault. And you got the Ferrari that kissed the lime Mercedes.
You weren't in the battle. They were never in the battle, me. As Luke Allen fell out of this battle, he was there, so now he's behind Adam Pelk, for good measure.
Oh, wow.
Must have had a spin that we did not miss.
Actually.
Did not catch.
Let's see here, because he ended up losing about 10 seconds, so that's probably a spin that we did not catch.
AJ is getting closer to Matthew Stotts as we enter the final lap of the sprint here. So AJ is not going to have too many chances, but as we saw with Fidel, he only needs one.
That as both of them go a little wide on exit. Well, yeah.
Yeah, AJ more wide though, as Stotts is able to ring it in at the center, but AJ wasn't. Yeah, because you still see the Smid English, Riker, do you speak it? You could still see the skid marks from when the other Renault collided with Jan Torres earlier.
As AJ's going to send it around the outside, through that little kink,
He's gonna
around the
try
outside.
passing the grass, but
Oh, he's going to try to cross him over, possibly. No, car stepped out. He's going to put his foot down. He's going to possibly try to lick the stamp and send it up the inside of the back-to-back 90-degree corners.
no, he's gonna back out of that. He's gonna brake early, but he's putting the pressure on Stotts, who's really beginning to slack off with his braking points here.
Here comes AJ going to try to make something move. No, he's...
I think that was his last chance too, because the last corner is not much of a passing zone unless you're an absolute maniac.
Well, we did see AJ absolutely send Fabian into the shallow realm, so that's a high possibility.
As DIVEBOMB is going to be the first person to defeat AJ Knickel this season, he will win the sprint round, and AJ will be relegated to a mere third place as Stotts will survive the onslaught of AMG. Stotts' teammate will come home in fourth place, and Fidel Fabian will weather the damaged suspension to recover to fifth over Billy Targi. And it looks like Jan Torres and the short tail Bentley is going to be your pole sitter in
the... Oh, we got spin
uh,
in the back! I saw Lamborghini
yeah,
just
Matthew,
absolutely...
No, that's Adam Pelk. And also apparently, no, because actually it's going to be Carter Ritchie who gets 8th. As,
Oh, Billy's time penalty.
Yeah, and I don't know how we're gonna... Well, I guess it depends. It's gonna be one of the, it's gonna be Torres or it's gonna be Ritchie that gets it. Unless that penalty is actually valid, which it probably isn't.
I'm thinking he passed a car that spun on lap 1 and the game gave him 30 seconds.
It's very possible. Would be a very Project Cars thing to do.
He's got 30-second penalty, so that's probably what happened. So the sprint race is over, and that was an interesting race. Probably one of the best sprints we've seen all year.
Yeah, it certainly helped. We had like an actual battle for... Well, we didn't really even have a battle for the win, because instead of AJ walking the field, it was Dylan.
Yeah, I'll take that, because that's my teammate.
AJ had that awful start, and while he made a recovery, he could not recover to the lead. He only recovered to P3. And that's provisionally, as stewards probably look at what happened between him and Fidel on, what was it, lap 5 or so? And, you know, obviously if he gets a penalty, he might be demoted further. Now we sit here and awkwardly wait for the feature race to begin.
Yep, and you got someone to keep company while we wait a few minutes to figure out what's going on.
I'm sort of operating with the assumption that that penalty is removed and that Torres ends up starting on pole. Because without that penalty, he ends up 8th.
Be interesting to see if a, as you call it, the Acura NSX penalty could either lead to his teammate being on the pole or his teammate starting 9th. The anticipation is exciting.
I almost wonder if Targi might consider letting the penalty stand as sort of like almost like an NFL flag type thing of, is the 3 points I gained from taking 6th without the penalty worth costing my teammate pole position and probably bringing home way more than that?
This is why we don't get paid the big bucks, because we have no idea what to call that.
None of us get paid.
Sadly, that is true. Well, Do you think anyone's going to absolutely send it off into turn one on the initial start of the feature?
Probably not, because it's a longer race. You could see that. You could probably see that in the sprint, because it's exactly what happened in the sprint. But the 20-lap race, plus not to mention single file restart, makes that harder to do. Since we're going to be restarting under safety car, while we get the top 8 arranged accordingly.
It'll be 20 laps. Okay, people, remember, it is 20 laps, not 19 under full racing conditions. I made that mistake last week, and now I'm here.
Well, yeah, it's 21 laps. It is 20 under green.
And I guess everything got handled as, here we go.
The only thing that had to be really changed was the settings and to see if anybody was rejoining, like Satchel.
Also, gotta love it how one of the screenshots of this track is just a tower that at the bottom of it says hashtag anytime, anywhere. This is absolutely one of my favorite tracks in the game. Well, just to look at, because it's just... The scenery's beautiful, the track layout's amazing.
I'm being invited to a league race. Don't run in.
Oh. Now, everyone's making their last minute adjustments, adding their race fuel, saying their prayers.
As funny as it would be if Adolphe were on pole, this is obviously not the grid order.
He should change his nickname to Spin and Win at this point. Have you ever wondered why so many fans showed up in attendance to watch these races?
There's a certain different level of entertainment that you don't get in professional motorsports.
Yeah, that's definitely something. It's just... we sell out every single venue we go to just for a dozen cars. Oh, that's Formula One.
Oh, NASCAR gets some big, big car numbers in ARC.
That is true. We do see on average like 25 cars for a regular season race, and once we get down to the playoffs and drivers are getting eliminated, we end up with about 15 to 20.
Yes, everything is set. Do not be fooled. These lights are a lie. The race is not green. Green flag is not out.
And Torres is going to get the pole.
So indeed, the penalty was rescinded for the Acura, and that means that that's dropped Carter Ritchie 8 places down the starting grid. As
what was I about to say?
Torres is about to get his possible redemption, considering he got clobbered in the sprint, and he recovered to a feature pole. So he obviously has some pace. He started the sprint on P3, so he has pace in this Bentley. He just has to utilize it and not get Renault'd.
Well, good thing both of them are behind him.
Yeah, considering it's not a grid start, we won't be seeing the absolutely rapid race starts that we got from those two Renaults in the sprint, which was what put them near Jan Torres in the first place.
As all drivers have lined up, and we will go green this time by.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had a case where we didn't get all the drivers lined up in one lap here. This is not ARC NASCAR. It's a bit more systematic.
And more clean.
Usually.
I plead the fifth.
Well, you weren't the only one getting incidents yesterday. Yesterday? Last week? Oh yes, approximately 7 yesterdays ago.
And there's our daily Rikerism.
That's not the first one, I don't think, but it's certainly the most obvious. So basically anywhere from the apex of the last turn to the start-finish, Torres is able to floor it and run for his life from the AMG horsepower of Matthew Daly behind.
And usually from personal experience, starting mid-pack on these is actually one of the most terrifying experiences a sim racer will have.
Starting mid-pack anywhere in a sim race can be terrifying.
And especially around some of these guys.
And we are green for the feature race. You floored it while you were talking. I was just like, hang on. The Rhinos are changing lanes back there. Torres is uncontested into 1. And looks like that's Travis giving Fidel Fabian a tiny nudge. Billy Targi sends it on the outside of Fidel. If he can hang it here, he'll be in good shape. But he's going to do a little more than hang. He's going to hang 10 as he heads through the grass. He survives.
Tomorrow, boys.
He survives, but at the cost of 3 positions. Dylan Baum makes his way ahead of Matthew Stotts, who's also under threat from Luke Allen into the hairpin. They bang doors.
And there's 3 wide back there.
Oh,
they
boy.
were for a second.
AJ defends from Travis. Not much defense really needed to be done there. He didn't really have much of a run. I'm going to go back to chase cam because we do not have the F1 cameras here. They are not nearly as good.
Let's see here. Matthew's closing a little bit. Nope, the Bentley's just going to absolutely drop the hammer for a hot second, and as soon as I change my mind, Matthew's going to pull him back in.
The Bentley had the better exit, but Matthew Daly had slipstream advantage, so... I mean, the Bentley's not exactly a slouch in a straight line either, so... That advantage isn't nearly as severe as it would be if Torres was in, say, a McLaren.
But here, we may have a pass for the lead here into this corner as Torres actually got a little loose in turn 1, and AJ absolutely sent it around the inside of Fabian through the kink.
But meanwhile, Matthew Daly could not complete the move on Jen. I was like torn between like which 44 car will succeed and which one won't.
And someone had something horrible happen on lap 1 as I believe that is Adam Pelk, who's way off the pack.
There's Targi and Van Oostendorp get into some very close quarters combat there. Targi manages to hang on to the spot. And AJ comes up behind his teammate, who's attempting to take the lead away from the Bentley. And you begin to wonder if team orders will be of any factor here or not.
AJ's never really given out team orders, though, to his competition, so I highly doubt that. AJ will probably just pass him on pure speed and talent alone.
Probably.
Most likely.
Torres is changing lanes, trying to minimize the slipstream. Take what little things he can away from the AMG. And he's managing to, goodness me, I thought we were about to have a team kill there. Instead, Torres is very loose on exit. We might have a repeat of history here. Yeah, was going to have another shot into 3. But he's going to once again retreat. And he's being very picky about his moments here. I suppose he should be. He's got 21 laps, or, well, 20 laps to figure it out. But he can't take forever either because his teammate is right there, and AJ doesn't wait for anyone, teammate or not.
Yep, and Dylan, who had an absolutely monster of a sprint race, is stuck in traffic, only able to climb from P8 up to P6.
For all we know, though, it might just be a personal decision that he doesn't want to force too many issues yet. He might just be waiting until some of the cars ahead pit, and he'll open the taps then, when it's safer. Considering his problems in traffic last time out at Sugo.
That is true, and speaking of pit lane, if my math is correct, pit lane is open for this time by for anyone who wants to do their mandatory early.
And Travis Van Oostendorp is that person. And it seems as though nobody else is. No, nobody else takes.
The benefit from personal experience of doing that strategy is you get the fresh tires in the clean air early, but as the race progresses, you will be, while everyone else is on about 6 or 7 lap pressure tires, your tires are absolutely shot and you're just hanging on for dear life, and you hope to God that there isn't a safety car.
Other advantage is right now, a safety car would probably help Travis because he wouldn't have to pit under it. And everybody else right now probably would pit because they can take their mandatory for free. Daly just about ran into the door of Jan Torres, and his teammate has had enough waiting and will go on around the outside, and Matthew doesn't even resist. Yeah. That's just boring.
It actually did look like Matthew did actually slightly tap the Bentley in that corner, however, on my end.
He probably did, just didn't tap it very much.
Well, that thing's also a Bentley. The thing weighs as much as a pickup truck, it seems like it.
It's definitely the don't tread on me option of the GT3 category. But AJ is going to tread on it nonetheless, and I think this is... He's going to do the same thing I said you have to be a maniac to do. And he manages it with relative ease, all things considered. I think, barring some major breakout moment, I think that's...
Speaking of breaking into turn 1, both of them are going to go
Oh my god! The Bentley made the corner like a normal person and watches as 44R has just had a meltdown. Dylan Baum also missed.
We have another car around. I believe that may actually just be a different lime green Mercedes I saw in the background of Dylan's.
They both went, yeah. AJ kind of recovered as we're under safety car from that. And that actually helped, this will help Luke Allen, who's currently in the pit lane. He was in the pit lane just moments before this all happened. I think Matthew Stotts just pit as well, if I'm not mistaken.
So from what I saw, it looked like AJ just absolutely overcooked it into turn 1, and the Bentley got into the back of Matthew as Matt did a full-blown lick the stamp and sent it.
No, they were in separate lanes. There was no way the Bentley and the AMG could have hit each other. I think Matthew just tried to send it on Jan Torres and followed his teammate off. And then Dylan also did the same thing on a basically unrelated note, or possibly distracted by the clown fiesta of Mercedes ahead, and also missed his own breaking point.
Ironically, that Lamborghini does look like a clown car.
It's also damaged a lot.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to wonder if maybe he was hit that way. I don't know who would have been behind him, though. I think it was Fidel or Tarji that were behind him on track. Unless he ran off and ran into someone.
That is a possibility, as who's coming in, who's staying out?
I think everybody that hadn't, so basically, yeah, really, even Adam Pelk is going in. So that leaves just Travis and Luke, who will stay out on this occasion, as they've already made their mandatory pit stops.
and I just reviewed the footage of the live stream of what we caught. There was definitely contact between Bentley and Matthew. And Dylan, the guy right behind him was Billy at the time, so could there have been an incident there? Possibly. I'm not speculating.
I think I just watched Matthew Daly commit a pit lane violation. He went backwards to reach a stall, which I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that. He made his pit stop anyway, so I think that might be a drive-through.
So let's look at the top three right now. It's going to be Travis, Luke, and
Torres.
Yeah.
AJ runs fourth. Fabian, Jamie Wright, who didn't pit, or who did pit, but I don't actually know how he got there. Well, he didn't have damage, which interesting that we question this, because I think Billy Targi did take damage from something, or he wouldn't be back here.
And you know what? That probably all but locks it up. There was contact between Billy and Dylan.
Probably, so... And then we have Carter Ritchie, Matthew Stotts, Jurgensmeyer, who, I'm not going to lie, I kind of forgot he was in the race.
Well, it's also the most vanilla Mercedes out there, so...
Yeah, and he wasn't exactly a factor in the race in the sprint race. Daly is 10th, Pelk 11th, Targi 12th, and Dylan is last.
On the field.
So Dylan's going to get to deal with more traffic because it's been going so well for him so far this season. And now we are merely moments away from the race being back under green. It seems as though everybody except for Travis is warming their tires. That's kind of a funny image.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how cold tires will work in turn one, especially with that hungry Ferrari right behind him.
Now Luke he's ready to go, but Travis is holding it off till the very last moment. Jurgensmeyer is making a pit stop.
Green.
I think he started the exact same point that the last restart was from Torres. Speaking of Torres, he's got a pretty good run on Luke, but can't take it anywhere.
Oh, Ferrari around, back and back.
Jamie Wright has been spun, no telling by what, but it was on the screen just about. And everything else is mostly single file heading towards the end of the first sector of track. And by that I mean almost entirely so, except for Matthew Stotts and Adam Pelk heading through the kink. Stotts gets very slidey on entry, loses out to Adam, and also might lose out to Targi if he's not careful, but he manages to stay ahead of the Acura. Jan Torres may have just gotten ahead of Luke Allen. Oh, I thought they were going to turn each other there, but contact was avoided. Torres is back to P2. Unless Allen has something to say about it, or AJ has something to say about it, which, let's be fair, that's probably more likely at this point. Especially as they're about to reach long straightaway, and it's a Mercedes we're talking about.
I mean, it's what happens when you put an F1 engine in a GT3 car. Ooh, it looks like the Ferrari has a little bit of front end damage, possibly.
It's anyone's guess as to whether he actually still has it, though, or if it's just damage that didn't sync properly when he fixed it.
And we got a car coming into the pits, and my money says it's the Ferrari that's spun.
Yeah, it should be Jamie Wright, who is... somebody has just left.
Retired.
Not even halfway through the race, but he gets turned once and decides that that's enough.
He got absolutely T-boned by a Renault. It appeared that him and Matthew got hooked up, and then the second Renault, which I forget who's driving that, just absolutely slammed him.
Well, that wouldn't make and that wouldn't make any sense if it's a second Renault. Well, no, Stotts is the other Renault, so.
Okay, so it would be Matthew and Matthew.
No, that's not confusing.
That's why I kind of said the other Renault.
Well, that didn't help because I just thought you were referring to Travis, and I'm like, how did the leader hit the car in 10th? What?
True. You have your Rikerisms, I have me moments. That's speaking of moments.
Torres just had a you moment there as he just gives Van Oostendorp the business to take the lead. But Van Oostendorp didn't lose a whole lot of time, so he's still there with a chance to grab it back.
That was a textbook bump and run.
Although it's not really the textbook series you do that in, but regardless, Van Oostendorp is still definitely in range. He's going to be in about a 10th and a half.
And Travis still had his fastest lap of the race right there, as he's going to absolutely...
They're back down the inside, and he's going to take it back. And Luke Allen's going to follow him through, so the Bentley has been absolutely mugged. AJ Knickel's going to also do the same thing. Oh, comes around, goes back around.
Oh, I would have if he would have just looped it there in the middle of that corner.
Yeah, that has been like comedy gold, as it's now Luke Allen on the inside of AJ, and he is just helpless there. Oh, he's not helpless at the next hairpin, though.
Oh, and he's going to nearly shove AJ off.
He gets the muscles out, and Jen Torres follows him back through.
Speaking of shoving AJ off, I think there was a little bit of a love tap there.
Oh, Torres nearly does more love tapping. He sends it on Allen. He gets into P2. And Allen gives him the bumper heading out of the corner.
Have you ever?
No, I have, but never. But Torres finds some grass and lets both of them go by. Fidel Fabian has also joined the party. Oh, man, he's letting everyone go. Oh, he gives Dylan Baum a door. And now we got a battle for second between Fidel and AJ. We've seen this one before. Luke, I grabbed your popcorn, my friend. Especially as we're going into this corner. I don't even know if you can fit two cars here. I'll be darned, you can.
And then there's a Ferrari going to try to make a move.
And then we have this. Okay, trackside camera, do your job, please. I can't cover all of this. Allen's hanging on the outside of Fidel for absolutely dear life. They make more contact on exit.
And the top 7, you can essentially cover them all in one blanket. Here we go.
Well, it's running 2nd through 6th. Oh yeah, Matthew Daly is here, and Torres is still kind of around. And then there's Billy Torres way in the back like, hey guys, I'm here. Dylan Baum with a bit of a heroic maneuver on Luke Allen. That's going to possibly move him into 4th. Not too long ago, he was like basically irrelevant in this race, but now he's, well, within striking distance of everybody else.
Dylan is one of the best drivers if he's mad and he's motivated. And after getting absolutely sent in to bring out the first caution and starting black, he has drove his way to knocking on the podium in the number 69 Lamborghini.
Speaking of knocking, as Matthew Daly tries to make a send on the inside of Luke Allen, and a little bit of elbows out driving, but I believe the AMG will be the victor there. Straight line advantage. Yeah, he's clear. And more knocking as here comes AJ Knickel, looking at the outside of the race leader, but he won't do anything there. Meanwhile, Torres is attempting to keep Luke Allen at bay. They're changing lanes like Barrichello and Schumacher. And oh my god, AJ's going for a kill streak. Travis Van Oostendorp holds on staunchly to the lead, but we'll have to see if that did some damage to his RS01.
Also, are we going to talk about how the top 2 have their windshield wipers on?
Extra downforce. And AJ, with some muscle movements there, gets ahead of Van Oostendorp and back into status quo. I mean, the lead.
And Travis is probably saying a bunch of words we can't say here on the air.
No. we gotta be E Forever 110 up here in the broadcast booth. I say that because I definitely slipped the H word in the Monaco stream at least once, but that's it.
Oh,
Dylan is around. As a reveal. The camera just pans by a parked Lamborghini, just like, well, he did all of that to get back up to the front, and now he's going to have to do it all over again. Speaking of over, no, that's Carter Ritchie's race is over, because that's a lot of damage to that Acura. And Fidel Fabian is going to try to make it a Merc 1-2. We're once again getting the Hungaroring treatment heading towards T1. Fidel does not care, and unlike somebody else, didn't have to move Travis for it.
This race is getting interesting, and we're barely past halfway.
It's time to see if Fidel Fabian can put the hammer down in crunch time and get up to his former Merc driver.
Former Merc driver?
What? He's a current Merc driver. I meant to say fellow Merc driver.
There, little Reiki.
My brain is in a state of off. Leave me alone. My brain is like your teammate, off track. Sorry, Dylan, I had to.
We love ya.
Oh, Luke Allen was almost off track there. He did a bit of a square dance with the curbs.
Yeah.
Fidel is actually getting kind of close to AJ, probably a bit motivated from what happened in the sprint.
Question is, though, how much damage does AJ have from absolutely nudging into Travis early?
Must not be too much. His top speed is not that low. Interesting seeing the different ways that people attack these corners at Zhuhai. There isn't really seem to be a right or wrong way to make these turns, so long as you enter on the racetrack and exit while on the racetrack.
There's definitely a wrong way. I will probably find out if I were to do 5 laps.
Matthew Daly kind of looked like he was about to find the wrong way. He was a little bit flirty with that outside curbing.
Oh, we had 1 or 2 drivers retire from the race now, as we were at 13 at start. Jamie retired, and someone else also dipped, as we're down to 11 with Adam Pelka on the verge of going a lap down.
Well, one of them was Carter Ritchie after his brutal spin a handful of laps ago. I don't know who the other one would be. Or no, it was Jamie Wright, and we documented that retirement.
Yep. Okay, so Jamie Wright and Ritchie have retired after horrible shunts.
Yeah, certainly with Carter Ritchie's, that seems like the kind of incident that would probably put your car out of the race. So, makes perfect sense to me. And Fidel Fabian is kind of falling off the back of AJ Knickel. He's not lost him per se, but he doesn't quite have the pace to hang on either.
Also, I'd like to point out that Dylan, even after his spin, is still only 11 seconds off the lead.
He must have just recently overtaken Tarji, because he was 7th last I looked. And we got a 3-car melee here for P3. People trying to sneak onto the podium. As Torres is very close with Van Oostendorp, and he's going to have to take to the sand to avoid a massive crash.
Beautiful re-entry. And we got Lamborghini off track.
That's Adam Belk, who's just kind of staying out of the way, I think. as Torres makes the Carlos Sainz re-entry to the racetrack, Rallycross style.
Be careful, guys. It's a distraction to have a car off track. Riker knows what that's a reference to.
As do most other people here, probably.
Let's see.
After that moment from Torres, the battle for third pretty much ended, really. I think all the we used up all of the fun in the middle of the race, and then we've reached the back third, and now there's just nothing.
Quick, someone do a barrel roll so we can get a restart.
Press Z and R together.
Let's see here. Where else is there a battle on track?
It's the two Renaults that are like next to people, and that's it. Oh, Billy Tardy just made a battle of himself there, and Matthew Stotts will just take the money and run. No battle required.
Let's see, what else is going on? No, the battle for the lead's essentially non-existent, as AJ's gonna be driving off into the sunset.
AJ Schumacher.
Honestly, though, with the amount of wins he has, I think they will put him at like 229. Ooh,
I stopped counting.
I got a little swirly.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a huge door opening for Matthew Daly.
Oh no, I can see this come from a mile away, as you're not supposed to move that many times on the straight line, or so I've been told.
It depends on how close they are to you. That said, he was pretty close, and Van Oostendorp continued to move. Although, you could say the first move was breaking toe and the second move was defense, but like, at this range you're not breaking toe, you're just being obnoxious.
You're being Travis. Nice recovery, but whoa, I think Nolan had another.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, because the race feed said that Tarji moved up to 7th place, and I was like, wait, what? Watch out, AJ, or you're going to spin the tires up. Fidel is actually getting awfully close to him. He must have made a small mistake somewhere. That's not Matthew. There we go. This Mercedes looks awfully funny.
Yeah.
Call it weight reduction to stage 5. Or something or other.
Ooh. Okay, that was a little interesting line by Travis there through that little bend.
That's an even more interesting line through that bigger bend, and Matthew Daly's just going to take the money and run.
And I believe that's possibly going to even open up the door for the Bentley to get by.
Oh yeah, there was not even a contest. Travis is helpless. See if Torres almost got to the back of Daly right there.
Torres and Travis, round 2, ring the bell. Ooh.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. Oh, my God. Fidel is getting a little bit closer, minute by minute. Something else to monitor if that continues trending that direction is, here comes Jan Torres. Here comes Sebastian Vettel. And he's going to get the advantage on exit. But we have that AMG horsepower. And Travis Van Oostendorp watches, probably rubbing his hands together. Because if these two collide, he's eating big, and that's exactly what they have done. Through goes Van Oostendorp! Travis says thank you, and he will take the money and run.
three-car battle for the podium. It doesn't get any better than this.
We might even have another battle because Fidel has officially caught up to Knickel with 3 laps to go.
Yep, coming to 3 to go.
That's a decent run through the last turn. But he's not quite gaining a whole lot. I think AJ's running a tick lower on the downforce setting. And so AJ will survive. Missed the braking point. Darn it.
Oh, that rear stepped out just a smidge right there.
Nothing doing in turn 1 for our podium battlers. Yep. We'll roll with that.
Yes, we'll try to make sense of that in post.
There is no post. This is not the challenge series. Shameless plug. People are aware of that because I once accidentally uploaded an episode of it to the ARC page. Luckily that was like before I was swearing in those videos, so I didn't really do too much and I got rid of it pretty quickly. Speaking of getting rid of, Jan Torres gets rid of 5th place. And he moves ahead of the AMG. He's trying to take it back from Van Oostendorp for what feels like the 12th time. Here comes Matthew Daly. The AMG horsepower gets him nowhere. Uh-oh. Big missed apex. Jan Torres with big bumper energy. Matthew Daly tried to go through Hamilton. What? Oh, he's there.
Contact. They're bumping each other wall to wall, wheel to
This
wheel.
is looking like World Touring cars, not GT3.
Hey,
we got a few.
We ain't complaining.
They got a few too many grand sunk into these cars to be doing that, but everyone's doing it to each other, so I don't really think anybody can really call penalties because everybody back there is using their doors like crazy. Oh, AJ has missed the first turn a little bit, but not by enough of a margin so that Fidel can capitalize. I think what decides the race is how desperate Fidel gets and how successful his desperation ends up. Because Fidel is certainly in range for something crazy, but will he do?
Adam Held off the track.
I don't mind him. He's just going bowling, you know. He's got that triple turkey going.
Oh. Go for some turkey right about now.
Now he got a 2 wide again. Matthew Daly almost just chop-blocked Jan Torres. He's probably got PTSD there. Oh, it's been an awful exit for the AMG, but Torres is not able to capitalize correctly.
Who's in 5th? Because I think they're about to possibly get a podium if those 3 keep playing.
It's Van Oostendorp, and I mean, that's happened already once with those 2 ahead, so... Daly is trying to find any AMG width he can collect. But Torres is not providing. He's going to get to the outside. He has the speed advantage, but Torres brakes really early. Or, what? No, he brakes really. Daly brakes early. Van Oostendorp gets to 4th for a moment, but Torres has a terrible exit. They're 3 wide into a 2-car wide turn. You are asking for death.
And I believe we're about to get some right here. Oh, nope. We have a car pitting.
Oh, that's just a car that's retired.
No, Torres got pushed off, I believe. Because he is dropped like a rock, and yep.
Oh, yeah, he got pushed down there, huh? What were those exit angles? What? Yeah. Alright, well, that settles, well, that makes 1 car out of this battle, but Travis can still grab 3rd. But Fidel, I think, botched the very corner looking at, as Matthew Daly has just done. I don't think he's going to be allowed to keep that one, though.
They're going to keep fighting those side by side.
Travis will be the 3rd place car. Almost said the leader, I wish.
Speaking of the lead.
Yeah, Fidel's not too close. They just only got to make 2 more turns, and he will be home free.
Matthew Stotts may have a shot of a podium right now, because he has closed up a little bit on the top 2.
No, they're too spread out. Oh, AJ got a huge snap there, but I don't think it'll matter. You can't really send into this last turn.
Will Fabian make a bonsai move? Here they come. Down to the final corner. Fabian going to try to send
not
it
much.
Oh, he's got
Oh, he had a run, but he got ruined by the curb, so I think it's going to be A.J. Knickel by a mere 2/10. He will snag the victory. Fidel Fabian P2, but Mercedes will not have complete domination, as here comes Travis Van Oostendorp for a very physical podium result. His teammate comes behind in 5th, with Matthew Daly in P4 and Wall. Dylan Baum, despite having pretty much everything go wrong in this feature race, still manages P6 and absolutely goes to space. What was that?
We just had
Luke Allen 8th, Billy Turgey 7th,
we had a Lamborghini space shuttle program right there.
Oh my word. Tesla, Elon Musk, eat your heart out. We just sent the car to Mars. Yeah, I was trying to say Lamber. I was like British.
Lamborghini?
Yeah, Lamborghini. That's a mood, Jen. Man.
That's a guy who just wants to go home. Oh, as we got Lamborghini on Lamborghini violence after the line, I thought that was banned now after incidents last week.
And Jerkensmeyer does that, yeah.
Did he even get to the line?
Doesn't matter if he did or not, he did, but because the game is still waiting for man. Well, that was a heck of a race.
Absolutely beautiful. The sprint race was kind of after lap 1, turn 1, but most of that feature was amazing.
It was amazing to watch, but I feel like for everybody that's not AJ right now, there's probably a little bit of expletives being tossed.
A few?
A few dozen.
I was about to say a few hundred, but that works.
Yeah, approximately 48 words. Approximately 7 yesterdays ago.
And half of them coming from tours.
Probably the other half coming from either Fidel or from you said tourism. I'm deaf now, great. Probably some from Dylan too while we're at it. But that will conclude matters for rounds 5 and 6 in the ARC GT3 challenge. I just dropped my TV remote. I do not know the next race, but... Daytona, okay, yeah. Huh. Luckily somebody looks at the schedule, because every time I try to go to SLP... I'm not, so I don't have to keep track of it. But every time my tablet attempts to load SLP, it has an off moment.
I'll send you the actual schedule, like an entire list on Discord later.
Yeah, because I don't ever get this right. It was like an actual celebration when I guessed the next race in F1 Realistic. It was like, oh my god, it is China! Ah! But until...
Friday, ARC's gonna be back here in China for Formula 1.
Also, according to the game, Zhuhai is in England on my screen. And...
yeah, that was also on my end too, I don't know.
Everything is England, apparently, just because it's an English developer. But, at any rate, that will do it for our broadcast day until Friday when we come back to China for Formula 1, where a Mercedes might win again. Who knows?